YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back on Total War Rome 2, and I have another Total War Rome 2 online replay here for you. And this time it's going to be myself representing Armenia, and I will be playing against Rome. I have been wanting to try Armenia against Rome for a while. I do know that it is quite possible to dismantle a heavy infantry army with Armenia, though I would not say it's easy in the current state of the game, but definitely possible. And the way I've chosen to do so, I'm not sure that it's necessarily the right way to go or not. And also, I do apologize. During this week there was a lot of videos where the sound balance was probably not quite right. Again, I'm kind of breaking in a new headset, and I am tweaking the sound a little bit each time I record. Well, most of the time. I recorded a couple episodes at once on, I think, some campaign or something, so again, I am trying to get the balance right. How do you like the graphics? Again, I know it's mostly the same as it was before, but my gosh, I've got a little bit of depth of field going now with the 970, and then everything turned up to extreme. Basically, it is looking beautiful right now in Total War Rome 2. Extremely beautiful. Very excited for Attila, of course, which comes soon. And as you all are watching this, I will be out of town, and I don't know what order I'll upload this one in. I'll probably make like a little update video. I will be out of town on a business trip, so these will be scheduled to upload while I'm gone. I will respond to your comments as best I can. Last week was challenging because it was Christmas and I was also out of town. This one's a work trip, and I have many hours scheduled of work I have to get done, so again, you should have videos every day, or at least a video every day. Sometimes two, but probably one for most of the days, and I am doing what I can to get it done. But let's take a look at the armies real quick before they clash. I've got 2 Eastern Spearmen meat shields, 2 Noble Blood Cav that I'm going to do to run some interference now. I want to slow the Roman army up. He's rushing towards me, which isn't exactly what I want, because I really want a chance to shoot at his elephants with my horse archers, and right now I haven't really given myself the best angle to get at his horse archers. My opponent's being smart and keeping them right here in the center of his formation, where it's harder for me to get at them with my horse archers. But I am going to come within range of them now, and my Noble Blood Cav, I hate to kind of sacrifice it this way, because I am going to take horrendous losses, but I am kind of forced to. And again, it does help draw out his elephants, and his elephants are under horse archer fire at this time. And slowly I will be chipping away at their health and hopefully going to run them amok. But it takes quite a few volleys from horse archers to run these guys amok, unless you get some really nice concentrated fire while they're sitting still, which I have not gotten. But because of my charges with my cavalry, it's disrupted the Roman skirmishers, who have not been able to properly return fire at my horse archers, and so my horse archers are getting away with murder here, basically, getting an opportunity to continue fire at Syrian war elephants. And my opponent finally loses control of them, and I'm going to try and keep fire on them, and I'm going to go ahead and rust my infantry in. And the idea is, if I can micro properly, pin his infantry and bring in some decimating cataphract charges from the flanks, and then his own elephants will be berserking into his own men here, so kind of actually supporting me at the moment. They've only gotten 2 kills against my men, and they're going to rack up a lot of kills against his own men for me at this time. So you can see that they are berserking all over his own men right here. So his elephants are doing more work for me than they are him at the moment, but we'll kind of see. Again, I'm having a hard time keeping pressure on the elephants, so they may stop running amok, and they are actually into my own men now and getting some kills. And you can see that my cataphract charges started over here, but then I'm not doing a good job of cycling, and my opponent's cavalry still prevents me from getting all the way to the rear, and he's keeping infantry in reserve while my axemen grind it out with his hastati. Because of the elephants here, though, his hastati are going to do very well against my axemen, and I'm kind of deciding what do I do next. Bringing up my Persian hoplites to help secure this flank. My horse archers are still being a big nuisance, but as you can see, his elephants are no longer running amok. I wanted to charge them, but I ended up having to charge to the back of my own men to get to them. But my royal cataphracts on I put battle rhythm on them and charged them in. They have a bonus first large. I figure it's my best way to try and do more damage to his elephants. And then again, my horse archers still just being a nuisance in the back. They haven't done a whole lot of damage in this battle. I say that. They've actually accounted for probably over 100 kills from when his elephants ran amok into his own men. So I guess they did make a difference. And then I'm getting some more horse archer shots from behind, and I actually finally kill one of the elephants. But again, my opponent is making it not as easy for me to get at him. I should have brought one of my horse archers around to this side already, and I have not. And I think, yeah, he chased this horse archer, which is fine. So as you can see, I'm just not getting the cataphract charges I need just yet. I finally land a very nice cataphract charge here with my eastern cataphracts, and that's all it takes is 1 or 2 good charges to turn the tide of battle against Rome. My opponent does break through with the hastati unit here. It's unfortunate for me, and his rear charge here is a little premature and not exactly as good as it could have been. but it is wrecking the morale of my men. I do have more Eastern Cataphracts inbound though. And I've cycled another Royal Cataphract charge, and I've actually killed several of his elephants finally. And then I get a nice rear charge on his center right here as well, and that's going to break the Hastati there with my Eastern Cataphracts, as well as continue to damage his elephants, which are now falling. It is a very close fight at the moment though, because the Roman infantry was having a field day with my own, as mine is not very good. And my Royal Cataphract general has kind of yet to make his presence felt. The enemy Syrian archers are still here in heavy numbers, though they haven't had a huge impact on the fight just yet. But in late game, they can be very difficult to deal with, so I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice these 2 horse archers. It will not kill the Syrian archers, but it will at least keep them from firing here at what I think is kind of a critical juncture in the battle. It's a very close fight, and I can't afford any more losses right now. I break his center. I have 2 axemen left, my Royal Cataphracts. I have 2 Eastern Cataphracts left as well. And then I have a couple of Eastern Spearmen that return from routing that I've yet to notice back here. Not that they would do a whole lot of good if they were here. My opponent's general trying to get behind my lines, and he's going to succeed in getting at this axeman. But again, my cataphracts are still free. I see these these Syrian archers. I do need to finish these guys, so I go ahead and bring in another cataphract charge here to get at the archers. It went through my own horse archers, so it'll be slightly, you know, it won't be as powerful as possible. My general, though, here gets a very nice charge, Royal Cataphract Gen into the Roman Legatus, and it's also, there's some Principes there that I'm going to get some kills on. So I'm going to have to cycle my general around though, so he's only taken a couple of losses, 36 kills, still not enough. But at this point I'm going to start sandwiching these Evocati cohort. I said Principes this whole time, those are Evocati cohort for my opponent. We'll take a look at his army afterwards since I didn't cover it very well. But in any case, he's got Hastati and Evocati and Eagle cohorts, so a very tough composition from Rome. Good morale, very strong units. I don't know that I agree with the Eagle cohort pick, probably just should have brought more Evocati, but one way or the other they're going to be tough for Armenia to deal with. So his archers, this is what I didn't want. They're now firing at my general and my Eastern Cataphracts. Fortunately for me, they're not getting a whole lot of kills just yet, and I'm about to destroy them with this Eastern Cataphract. So Eastern Cataphracts into the back of archer units will definitely get some damage done, even though they're depleted in numbers. And then my general here, no, that's my other Eastern Cataphract unit comes in. So the Syrian archers are going to be murdered by my Cataphracts, and you can see them routing and shattered, and that Hastati is also badly damaged. Or that was my general, sorry. Now I'm going to take my general in for yet another rear charge. So there's some more Roman infantry that's over here fixed against my axemen, and or sorry, my Persian hoplites. In shield wall or in phalanx mode, the Persian hoplites can hold a fairly absurd amount of time for a unit of their cost. I say absurd, not like I really want it changed. It's helpful as Armenia. But they can definitely hold longer. And then I'm just going to circle around and hit these Evocati cohort too. So see how long the Persian hoplites are holding here? They are definitely getting soundly defeated, but they are holding a very useful Evocati unit from doing anything else at the moment. But I mean, you can see the Evocati will cut through them. And I'm slow to order my charge here too, which is a big problem. But my general continues to cycle charge. He's up to 158 kills. This Eastern Cataphracts up to 171 kills. They are very good units, Eastern Cataphracts. I just let my Persian hoplites here die when I had support ready. So it's a micro fail on my part. This time though, I feel pretty confident. I don't have a ton of units left, but even my Royal Cataphract General alone is probably capable of killing everything left on the battlefield. If you get a super heavy shock cav into late game, they can be devastating. And this general unit here actually has the Strategist General, so he's got second wind and battle rhythm. So I can basically use Trample every time it becomes available, and then just cast Second Wind. It sounds like a spell, I guess it kind of is. And my guys magically get all their stamina back, and so this has allowed me to do a couple of Trample charges already in this battle, or at least one, maybe two. You can see even my Eastern Cataphracts depleted do a lot of damage on the charge, 195 kills now on that unit. This one's 157, and look, they're going to get a nice rear charge on these Romans. Now my Eastern Cataphracts are very tired. My Royal Cataphracts aren't as bad. See, they're very punishing frontal charge, so it doesn't take many Cataphracts to do quite a lot of damage. And that was a trample charge. Since they were going to die anyway, I went ahead and put them in the trample. And this is the only Roman unit left on the battlefield at this point, so in the end my Royal Cataphracts ended up being a key unit here. It helped stop the Roman elephants, and it got a lot of very nice charges. So the Cataphracts of Armenia won the day, which is to be expected. That's one of Armenia's main strengths against a sword build, would be Cataphracts and Skirmishers. My Skirmishers were few in number this time, and not particularly well used. Again, they did run his elephants amok, which became pretty critical. So if we take a look at the statistics, I was able to get, I mean, let's just do the math here, make that 300, 500, almost 500, almost 700 kills from my cataphracts, not quite, but almost 700 kills from the cataphracts in total. That's what you would want to see is Armenia. These guys, honestly, yes, they can kill cavalry, but in my mind, cataphracts are infantry killers. Infantry that's unbraced or rear charges, I mean, cataphracts are just absolutely brutal. My noble blood cav unfortunately did not get a lot of kills for their price, but they did manage to interrupt the Roman army long enough for me to run his elephants amok, so I would say in the end that was worth it. They got some kills, not a lot, but then if you look at the losses to his, if my kills to his losses, so that's about 160 kills that his elephants or his archers got for me, probably mostly his elephants. So he was able to, by running his elephants amok, these guys were worth it because it accounted for another 160 or so kills. So again, my horse archers would have been worth it in the end if you think about the spend that I put here, or the 2 noble blood cav were basically worth the same spend as the African elephants. So by using them to help nullify this, it was worth it. So in the end, it turned out pretty good. A couple of my axemen that got into better engagements ground out quite a few kills, but as expected, the Roman infantry absolutely trounced my men. Pretty pleased, though, with these Persian hoplites, a couple of them getting almost 60 kills each, which is actually a very good number for that unit. And of course, the Eastern Spearmen really aren't even very good meat shields. I almost think I should have brought Hillman here or something because these guys were so pathetically puny. Syrian archers were also a key thing for him. He was not able to use them effectively against my men. With the Syrian archers, he definitely could have kept my horse archers at bay. So I think that used differently, this Roman army would have been very difficult for me to kill, and it was already difficult for my men to kill because my micromanagement is usually lacking. But it's a fun matchup. I like taking Armenia versus sword builds or Parthia or something like that. It's a fun thing to try. I definitely don't think that it's easy, but it is fun, and it's a great way to kind of break up the kind of sword meta version of this game right now that's going on where everybody likes sword heavy armies. But with Rome, I'm not really trashing that mentality. Rome was always kind of a sword heavy faction when you look back on it, so this is expected from Rome. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. Good game to my opponent, HeirofCarthage, signing off for now.